Today we're making a New York cheesecake. To start, we have 161 grams of graham cracker. It is finely crushed. I did that by just putting it in a blender and blending it up. In here is 30 grams of granulated sugar and 2 grams of salt. I'm gonna just throw in like a pinch of nutmeg. It's kind of really up to you about how much you want. That was a lot. Whisk this up a little bit. And then we have a 1/4 cup of melted butter. Can you get the pie crust pan? You should get it to a point where it mixes and you can kind of clump it together. That's what you want. Now what we're gonna do is put this into your pie crust or your pie pan or whatever you have. And can you get me a flat bottom cup? You can use your hands. I find it a lot easier to use something to actually press it down, and it gets you a lot more of a, this will work. Do you have a flat bottom like glass cup? That's perfect. It'll get you a lot more of a uniform surface. Or I should probably spray this with Pam. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, something I did forget to do. You want to grease whatever pan you're using prior to this process. I forgot to do that, so this will be interesting. But no worries. Okay, maybe pamming this doesn't help. This is why I hate making pie crust. I'd rather just buy a store-bought one. YouTubers always make it look so much easier. The 2 times I've tried making a homemade pie crust did not turn out the best. This isn't too bad. Maybe I'm using too much pressure. Oh. So I think too much pressure is my issue. It seems like the best way to go about doing it is mostly get the shape of it with your hands. And that's where you really compact it and actually press it down. And then the flat bottom cup is just going to help you more so level everything off. Yeah, I like this. All right, this is going to go into a preheated oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees for I think 12 to 15 minutes.
Crucial step, a non-greased springform pan will ruin your entire life, guaranteed. Now pour all your graham cracker.
I checked the recipe, 8 minutes. This is gonna go into a preheated oven for at 350 for 8 minutes. So we're gonna set this aside and get that started. Now for the fun part, the actual cream cheese filling. In this bowl, we have 2 pounds, that's 4 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese. We've been letting these sit to room temperature. If you want to like throw them in the microwave a little bit to soften them, that's fine. Just Obviously don't cook them, but you want them warm. It's gonna make this a lot easier because we are going to start by mixing in, how much is this? 220 grams, Newton, get out of here. 220 grams of granulated sugar. All right, I'm gonna throw this in the microwave for like 30 seconds. I'm such a fat ass, dude. Even just the cream cheese and sugar right now just tastes good. Like, come get a little finger of this.
I don't need this right now.
Just a little, just like, finger ain't gonna hurt. A little finger never hurt nobody. Okay, I threw this in the microwave for like 30 seconds because they're still a little bit warm.
Now once it's nice and creamy.
Okay, next we're gonna incorporate 4 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. You're gonna do them one at a time. So I'm gonna crack. And then give it a bit of a mix. Come get me these top downs.
Here you go.
This is 4. Oh, let's get a little nice crack. Yeah, look at that slide. Oh, oh. Why is the soaking wet? Oh my God. All right. Real quick, here, can you turn it over this way? I've shown this in my last baking video for the cookies, but if you ever need to separate an egg white and an egg yolk, give it a little crack, open it, but catch the yolk in one of the shells and just do a little back and forth transfer each time, slowly sifting out some of that egg white. If you ever need egg whites in your diet and you want to avoid the extra sodium that is in the carton eggs, you can do it that way. All right. Next we have a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. That's going to go in there. A lot of recipes will often call for about a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream and like a 1/4 cup of Crème Fraîche, which is just fancy French cream. I don't have that, so we're swapping it with whipping cream. And then lastly, we're gonna throw in 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Gosh darn it. 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Fun fact, you shouldn't mix them together because cornstarch is used as a thickener, so you want to wait until you're putting it into whatever you're trying to put it into before getting it in contact with any of your liquids. My silly unpaid intern assistant really dropped the ball and fucked it up on that one. You shouldn't curse, it's not family friendly and you'll mess up your monetization. My what? You think I'm getting paid to do this? All right. This is basically done. I'm just gonna give it one last scoop down all of the sides to make sure I've really gotten everything incorporated. And so I have an excuse to lick the spatula afterwards. While I'm Now, something I do want to mention, typically when making a proper cheesecake, you want to do a ice water bath or a water bath while you're putting it into the crust and then into the oven. And there's a whole process in terms of after you finish letting it cook, you open the oven door, turn it off, and just let it completely cool in the water bath afterwards. The whole purpose of this is to help avoid it from cracking. I'm not going to do that just because, for content's sake, I just don't want to. I'm baking for me, not for you guys. Well, that's not true. I'm not going to do that just because, to me, I bake because it's fun, and yes, that process will give you a much better product. Makes it less fun, so kind of defeats the purpose of why I'm doing this. So yeah, let's pour this in here. Also, I don't have a proper big style cheesecake pan that you're supposed to use, so there's going to be leftover for this. So I'm going to end up putting that into an excess pan to just cook on its own without a crust. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that. You can have it served with, like, you know, graham crackers and have it as like a weird, like, side dish. See how much we can get in here. It's not pretty, but I'm happy with it. Let's move this over to the side. And let's get our excess sheet filled with some cheesecake. Yeah, there's a lot of cheesecake in this. The recipe that I got this from cooks like a big, like, probably like 3-4 inch tall cheesecake. I mean, again, it's a big, tall New York style. And I just don't have a proper pan for that. In hindsight, I guess I could have made it in what I'm pouring all of this into right now. But then it would have been an oval cheesecake, which I actually kind of wish I did because it's unique. But, oh well. What can you do about it? All right, both of these are ready. They're going to go in the oven for an hour and a half. Clip. Go ahead.